The richest person in this world is not the one who has piles of gold, silver, land and properties. The richest person is not the one who wears silk and rides on horses or sits in palaces. The richest person is the one who has sincere friends, whose loyalty never breaks, whose love is pure, whose words are true and whose actions are honest. Sincerity is the crown of friendship and loyalty is its jewel. When a person finds this treasure, he becomes wealthier than kings and rulers, because money cannot buy sincerity, power cannot command sincerity, and status cannot demand sincerity. Sincerity comes only from the heart. Imam Ali, peace be upon him, gave us this wisdom when he said, "The wealthiest person is the one whose friends are sincere." This saying is not only a statement, it is a guiding principle for life. It teaches us that true wealth is measured not in currency but in connections, not in treasures but in trust, not in luxury but in loyalty. If a person owns everything but does not have a sincere friend, he is poor, and if a person owns nothing but has a sincere friend, he is rich. Let us think about this through an example. Imagine a person who has billions of coins, but when sickness strikes there is no one to sit beside him. Imagine a person who builds palaces, but in times of sorrow there is no one to share his tears. Imagine a person who is praised in public, but in times of trial he stands alone. Such a person may appear rich, but his heart is empty. Now imagine another person who lives in a small home, eats simple food and owns little, yet in his times of need his friend arrives to comfort him, to encourage him, to help him and to guide him. Such a person is truly rich because he has something more valuable than gold. Life shows us again and again that possessions vanish and titles disappear, but sincerity never dies. When a person is sincere, he stands with you when the world turns against you. He holds your hand when enemies laugh. He gives you courage when you fall. He lifts you up when you succeed. He rejoices with you with no jealousy. This is why sincerity is priceless. We see throughout history how sincere friendships have changed destinies. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was surrounded by companions whose sincerity was unshakable. They stood with him in hardship and in victory. They sacrificed wealth, family and comfort for truth. Their loyalty was not for benefit but for faith. Their sincerity was not for gain but for love. That is why their names remain eternal, because sincerity gives immortality. Imam Ali, peace be upon him, himself had companions whose sincerity became legendary: Malik al-Ashtar, Ammar ibn Yasir, Salman al-Farsi, Abu Dar al-Ghifari. These were men whose hearts were pure, whose loyalty was deep. Their wealth was not counted in coins but in sincerity. Their greatness was not measured in gold but in loyalty and faith. Now let us think about our time today. We live in an age where many people wear masks in public, where friendship is often built on interest, where people gather only when there is benefit and scatter when hardship comes. In such a time, sincerity is rare and true friendship is a jewel. People may smile in front but plot behind. People may call you brother but betray when money is involved. Such friends are like shadows. They stay when there is light but disappear when darkness comes. But a sincere friend is like the moon, whose glow remains even when the sun is gone. How can we recognize a sincere friend? We can test sincerity in moments of need. If a friend stands by you when you are weak, poor or troubled, then know his loyalty is true. If a friend advises you with honesty even when the truth is bitter, then know his love is real. If a friend corrects you when you are wrong instead of flattering you with lies, then know his sincerity is alive. A false friend praises in your presence but mocks in your absence. A sincere friend speaks good in your absence and corrects you in your presence. Many people today suffer not because of enemies but because of false friends. Enemies harm openly but false friends harm secretly. Enemies declare their hatred but false friends hide poison under the cloak of love. This is why having sincere friends is true wealth, because their hearts are clear and their intentions are pure. Sincere friends are also protectors of faith. They stop you when you walk on the wrong path. They remind you of God when you forget. They guide you back when you go astray. They do not allow you to sink into sin. They protect you like a shield against destruction. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "A person is upon the religion of his friend, so look carefully at whom you befriend." This shows that friendship shapes destiny. A false friend can destroy both worlds, but a sincere friend can save both worlds. When we reflect on the lives of great people, we find that their richness was not in what they owned but in the sincerity that surrounded them. Take the example of the Prophet and his companions. They shared poverty, hunger, exile and pain, yet their bond was unbreakable. Their sincerity was their strength. Their friendship was their shield. Now compare that to modern times, where people may have luxury but live in loneliness, where they sit among crowds but feel empty, where they laugh outwardly but cry inwardly. This is because they lack sincerity. If a person wants to live a life of true richness, he must value sincerity more than wealth. He must choose friends not for status, not for profit, not for appearance, but for heart. Sincerity is invisible, yet it shines brighter than gold. Sincerity cannot be touched, yet it gives comfort greater than silk. Sincerity cannot be measured, yet it outweighs treasures. The wisdom of Imam Ali peace be upon him also teaches us to become sincere ourselves, because sincerity attracts sincerity. If you want loyal friends, be loyal. If you want truthful friends, be truthful. If you want friends who do not betray, never betray others. Sincerity is like a seed. If you plant it in your heart, it will grow in the hearts of others. If you break trust, you will never find trust. If you are false, you will never find truth. Life is a test, and in this test sincere friends are a mercy from God. They make hardships easier and joys greater. They make struggles lighter and victories brighter. They are like stars guiding you when night is dark. They are like water quenching thirst when the desert is dry. They are like shade under a burning sun and like warmth in freezing cold. Without sincerity, friendships are like empty shells. They look beautiful outside, but inside they are hollow. Without sincerity, words are like smoke. They rise but soon vanish. Without sincerity, love is like a flower cut from its root. It blooms for a short while but soon withers. Sincerity is the root that gives life to love, loyalty, and friendship. When death arrives, it is not wealth that follows us, it is not property that cries for us, it is not status that prays for us. It is sincere friends who remember us, who make dua for us, who shed tears for us, who keep our memory alive. That is why Imam Ali peace be upon him called such a person truly rich, because even after life his wealth remains in the hearts of sincere friends. We should therefore not waste our lives chasing false wealth that ends. We should chase true wealth that lasts. We should cherish those who are loyal. We should protect their trust and never betray them, because once sincerity is broken, it cannot be repaired. Like glass that once shattered becomes fragments, never whole again. If you are blessed with even one sincere friend, you are richer than those who own treasures. If you are blessed with a friend who prays for you when you are not there, who defends you when you are absent, who comforts you when you are broken, who rejoices when you succeed, then you are wealthier than kings, because such a friend is a gift that cannot be replaced. Therefore remember always that the richest person in this world is not the one who has the most wealth, but the one who has sincere friends. This richness cannot be stolen, it cannot be lost, it cannot be destroyed. It travels with you in this world and in the next. Sincerity is the true wealth of the heart and the light of the soul. Imam Ali peace be upon him gave us wisdom that guides us in every age, and his words remain true forever. Sincerity is wealth, loyalty is treasure, and friendship is crown. The richest person is the one whose friends are sincere, because his heart will never be empty, his soul will never be lonely, and his life will never be poor. No matter how little he owns in this world, he carries the greatest treasure in his heart, the treasure of sincerity and loyalty, which shines brighter than all the gold of the world.